Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse.
I'm Pickle Rick!
And today's review is going to be on The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 6, or Chapter 14, whatever, it's the same thing. Anyway, I got to tell you right up front, there's going to be heavy spoilers for this episode, so if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, then come back to see this review, because I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. But anyway, because there's a lot to unpack, let's get right to it. I personally love this episode, but it's a perfect example of how entertainment is just subjective, because the buddy I watched it with, he didn't like it at all, and for very valid reasons. I get it, didn't understand why he had to take off his jetpack. We understand it's for plot purposes, but there was no real reason for Boba Fett to ask him to take that off, instead of put your weapon down, so that confused me as well. He felt like that it looked like they were on a set, and that kind of took him out of it, and I get that too. It did kind of look like it was shot a little differently, but it didn't take away from me the action that was in this. I mean, this was John Wick in space. Just Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, and the sniper girl. I can't remember her name, but she was just taking fools out. I mean, just one shot, bam, bam. Even jumped off the ridge and shot them backwards. That was just too cool. I just thought Boba Fett just cracking helmets open, probably their skulls, so cracking skulls with the gaffy stick. He was just smashing their helmets, into pieces. This was a very visceral episode that I thought, and I loved it. I was just like out of my seat, especially when Boba Fett arrived and the Slave One, comes flying around. I was like, oh gosh, I sat up like, oh gosh, here we go, Boba Fett versus Mandalorian. But it was really, they teamed up against the Empire, and I thought that was really cool and a lot of fun. But Boba Fett just being my favorite action figure back in the day, it was just really cool, and now 40 years later, we finally get our favorite character back, and he was amazing. It's just a straight badass, just taking people out. I loved it. I freaking loved it. But other than that, I loved Baby Yoda. Now, I hated that he got taken by the Dark Troopers that we talked a little bit in last week's review, but those guys are not to be dealt with, and I was hoping to get a fight between them, but I'm sure that's coming. That's coming very soon. But it was really about them grabbing Baby Yoda and taking him back up to Moff Gideon's ship that he was in, and seeing when he walks in on Baby Yoda in the detention cell, and Baby Yoda's just choking out the stormtroopers and throwing them up against the wall. Man, I was just like, yeah, I love Baby Yoda. But Moff Gideon knew that by doing that, he's going to wear himself out, which he did. Then they stun blast him, put some shackles on him. And man, I was just like on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, where are we going to go from here? Mando's going to have to get the team, of heroes together and go for Moff Gideon, and it's going to go down. This season finale is just going to be incredible. I want to say some cuss words, but I'm trying to keep it, PG-13 here. But I'm so pumped up, and I cannot wait for the ultimate showdown that's going to come down by them getting Baby Yoda. Oh, and R.I.P. Razor Crest. Man, when they blew that ship up, he had just gotten it back together. In working condition, and they just totally obliterated it. There wasn't going to be any montage in this episode of them putting it back together. Nah, not anymore. It's gone. But which makes me think that Boba Fett might not survive this series, and he might inherit the Slave One, which I'm totally down with, because that ship is my favorite Star Wars ship ever created. I love it. So if Mando gets it, I'm down. I'm good. I'm good with that. So anyway, guys, that's what I thought about the episode. I really enjoyed it and loved it, even though it's the shortest episode of the second season. Really a lot to pack in there that really moved the plot forward. So let's go, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But it's not all about what I think. What did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day, guys. And the only way to do that is to remember, the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!